You are listening to Unscripted Moments, a podcast about propaganda. On this episode, bassist and vocalist Todd Kowalski checks in to recap some of the touring propaganda did through Canada and the US in 2022, some of the mishaps that took place along the way, and then we switch gears and talk about what the band has been up to since October of 2022 through August of 2023, and then we take a bit of a turn and talk about art for a while. It was great to chat with Todd and catch up, and I hope you love it. Todd, welcome to Unscripted Moments, a podcast about propaganda. How are you today?
Doing good, Greg. Yourself?
Excellent. Thank you very much. It is summer in Buffalo. How is summer in Winnipeg treating you so far this year?
Pretty good. I'm getting out of the city as much as I can and having a good time. Went out to the White Shell on the weekend. It's nice waterfalls, places to swim, all kinds of stuff out there. So yeah, it's nice.
Very good.
An hour and a bit from Winnipeg. We can get to there's so many lakes in Manitoba. It's pretty easy to get somewhere awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I had a recent experience too where I went to the Adirondacks in upstate New York, kind of like right by the Canadian border. Kind of like Montreal, super close to where I was. I was in Saranac Lake, which is about 10 minutes from Lake Placid, New York, where the Olympics has been held a couple times. Same thing. Incredible mountain vistas everywhere. Insane cycling and amazing bike riding. Lakes every 5 miles. You know what I mean? It's absolutely wonderful. So I've been trying to get out there and enjoy that a little bit as well. The quiet of the mountains when you're on a bike, going up a mountain pass on a bike is just truly special and unbelievable for me.
Yeah. How far is that from Buffalo?
So it's about 6 hours. Like we just drive down the 90, like past Rochester, and then at Syracuse, you go north on the I-81 straight towards Montreal, and then you hit Watertown, and then from Watertown, you go inland and you go up into the mountains, and it's just, mountain town after mountain town. And it's just absolutely incredible up there. I love it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, 5 hours isn't too far.
Yeah, easily my favorite part of New York is like right up there. And in a couple of weeks, we're driving back up there because we're going to see Metallica in Montreal, and we're going to be passing right through the region again. So I'm really excited to go back and do it all over.
Right on. I'm sure that'll be a slice.
It will be a good time. Todd, it's been a long time since you've been here, but time really flies. I was looking to see what the last time you were here was, and it was January 29th, 2022. And we talked a lot about Fuck the Border and the history of that song. And we tied in a lot of I Spy history and then you joining propaganda. It's really disturbing how long ago that feels now and how much has happened in my life since then. Like I'm living in a totally different house now than when I talked to you for the podcast last time. Right. But, I was hoping we could catch up a little bit with what you've been up to and what the band has been up to for the listeners out there who are always dying for news from your camp.
Right. Yeah.
So I want to hear first of all about a little bit about the touring that you guys did in 2022. There were, as everybody knows, a run across Western Canada and then a challenging run in the US with cancellations and challenges. Tell me a little bit about what stands out for you about that Western Canadian run and then that attempt to do the West Coast last fall.
Well, what happened? We went to Edmonton, I guess, played a show with a bunch of bands, Protest the Hero and Flatliners and all that. So that was a pretty good time. Walked around Edmonton, went down some trails. Played Calgary the next day. Barney tried to bring his own sound system and failed at some point. Went to Vancouver, played 2 shows that were fun. And then, the last show, Chris seemed like he was having a hard time singing. And then the next day he was sick. So we weren't quite sure what to do because it's pretty hard to go and just show up at all these shows and everything with COVID. And so we're just like, well, I guess we got to bail. We did.
Yeah, I know that Sue Lynn's approach was to, continue. I think that Sue Lynn continued driving down the West Coast of the US. Yeah. And Chris took the van and the gear back to Winnipeg by himself, right?
Yeah.
Were you guys like nervous sending him off alone in through the mountains in a van, like ill and just off on his own?
Well, he kind of wanted to go alone, and it's probably smart to do that.
Yeah. Did you fly home after that?
Yeah, I'm pretty easy going, so it's just whatever. Whatever
Nice.
happens, I just go with it. I mean, okay, that's over. And you feel like obviously disappointed, but whatever. Fuck, go to the airport, eat a sandwich, go home. Then you're at home, whatever, doing the same old shit you're always doing. So.
What was that rescheduling like for the the Southern California shows that wound up getting rebooked like a couple weeks later? Like I'm sure that was an insane hassle. What was that like?
Yeah, that was an insane hassle for sure. Yeah, trying to rebook that, and then like Robin and Barney, who are our usual sound people, couldn't go because of other work. Then we got no effect, a couple guys who go with no effects, and yeah, they did a great job and were really helpful. It was fun to be around them too. So yeah, it all worked out, and yeah, we just did the shows that we could figure out how to make it work.
Was it Kent? Did you get Kent from No Effects to do the sound? Nice. He's been on the podcast before.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, that was funny.
What was that like reconnecting with Kent for those shows? That had to have been a blast.
Yeah, good. Yeah, he's funny. Yeah, I get a kick out of that guy. Yeah, he's from Winnipeg too, actually.
Yeah, he was Gorilla with Biff Naked, right?
Yeah, I saw them at the Albert back in the. Actually, I saw them in Regina too, opening for probably SNFU is my guess.
No way, that's really cool. Love that. Yeah, Kent was super fun. He came on the podcast and basically laid down the law that he was going to be the How to Clean Everything defender under all circumstances. So it was really fun to have him on. He's like, I will talk about How to Clean Everything as long as you want to convince you that it is the greatest record ever. And we had a really good time with it.
Yeah, that seems like a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, he was.
I like How to Clean Everything too, though. Actually, like
I know you do.
I just I don't know. I kind of I wouldn't say it's the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we had a really good time doing the 30th anniversary episode recently, where listeners of the podcast submitted covers of all the songs. We got every single song covered for that episode, and it wound up being like 5.5 hours long, which was a real thrill to kind of pull off this like special anniversary thing. So anyway, it was a real good time.
Yeah, no, good.
So what did you have any like particular shows that stand out to you among that run last year that was like your favorite, or anything that like, did you get to go hiking or anything in California or see anything really cool while you were down there?
We went walking around LA.
Yeah.
San Francisco. And what was the other one?
I don't think you guys went back to San Francisco. Didn't you just do
San Diego. Yeah. San Diego.
I think it was just 2 shows. It was just LA and San Diego, right?
What's the third one?
Oh my goodness. I'm going to have, so we got LA, San Diego, and Pomona.
Okay. Yeah. Pomona. Yeah.
Nice.
Pomona, really? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we went walking around in Pomona and whatever. Yeah. It's dry, but nice. Just on these hills.
Love it. Very good. Well, let's chat a little bit about what you all have been up to since tour. So the last shows were in October and we're now in August. So we're, like 9-10 months later at this point, since those shows happened. And I know a lot is going on behind the scenes and with the band right now. And I know that you all have been writing, and I'm sure that everybody would just love to hear a little bit about what you guys have been up to since last fall.
Well, we started working on our tunes and getting all rocking and going and having a good time. And then, yeah, George or Chris's shoulders started to freeze and get sore, and Jordan actually cut his Achilles tendon, some sharp thing on the door, so he had to wear one of those boot things for a couple of months. So yeah, we were back down to just chilling for a while. Yeah, but yeah, we're having a great time jamming. Like I feel like I was just keep thinking, yeah, these are awesome songs, and it's
Sweet.
always fun. Just it's fun to be there, just making those songs, trying to figure them out, and yeah, I'm feeling really good about the tunes. So like yeah, they seem like
Does
I feel like we're improving, kind of.
does this remind you of the Today's Empires era, where I believe there were numerous injuries during the recording process for Empires, right? Where it wasn't like there issues with injuries then too.
We always have something going on, I think, between the three of us. Yeah, yeah. But
Oh,
I've had every injury in humanity's possibilities. So
amazing. Is Jord out of the boot now? Is he all
yeah, he's
back to
rocking.
full
Yeah,
strength?
he's kicking away at that little pedal thing and having a good time.
Sweet. Very good. How many songs like are you bringing to the table this album cycle around? Because sometimes you brought like 5 to the records, like with Potemkin, and then sometimes it's just like is a couple of 2, like with Victory Lap. So I was wondering how many songs are you feeling like are coming out from you on this time around?
I'm hoping maybe 5 this time if I can, or I don't know. I don't really think such like that. I just when something's done, just like okay, there it is. But right now I have at least well, I have like 10 on, you know what I mean? But like we've jammed like 3 all the way through. And then I got like a couple more, that just gotta I guess 4 we've jammed. 5 actually. Yeah,
Cool.
because there's one that was and one that was just kind of abandoned just because there was not lyrics yet for supporting cast. And
Hmm.
then yeah, and then Chris just sent it to me. Oh, we got to revive this one. I was like, okay, yeah, it's a good, yeah. And then I put it on. I was like, yeah, it's a good one. You just kind of forget.
Very cool. That's awesome. I know that Chris made a post as well on his Patreon that he all of a sudden just kind of came through and he's like, I kind of feel like I have the solid skeletons of like 7 songs. So
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. Are you guys kind of shooting for a 12 songer on this time around?
I doubt it. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? You might as well do something with the other 2 songs, or I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I just find with 12 songs, then a couple end up getting just kind of lost in the shuffle anyway. So
Yeah. Do you
it's always disappointing to like, that's the most disappointing thing about a record is you always know like something's going to get stuck somewhere, and you know what I mean?
kind of reminds me of like how Laughing Stock is like such an awesome banger and how it
Yeah.
wound up on like a flexi that just kind
Yeah.
of got out into the world like that, and I know it came out digitally later and stuff like that, but it's kind of not the same as having that included with a record like Victory Lap. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. That one was just like, we're just out of time by just like a tiny little bit and had to be done.
Yeah.
Uh, there's another
Nice.
version of it too that's good. Like, I don't know, somewhere in the world. So we've recorded it twice.
Maybe you guys could do where quantity is job number 1, volume 2, and put all these things that were on like the deluxe editions and stuff on like a Bandcamp download and just be like, all right, here's another like LP worth of stuff that is like outtakes and B-sides and stuff like that. And I don't know, it could be a fun project someday to kind of
Yeah, there wouldn't be too much, there wouldn't be too many of those songs though. Like usually we end up recording most things.
yeah, for sure. Do you have like a vibe for these songs? Like, is it kind of because the records that you guys make, they none of them sound like each other. I mean, each one sounds different. And is there like a vibe that you're kind of feeling with this one that kind of reminds you of any of the particular eras of the band or anything like that? Or does this feel like pretty fresh, pretty new? Do you guys feel like this is a new direction at all?
A little bit like, I don't know. I feel like we're always just kind of pushing some direction, or not pushing a direction, but just like we almost take every song as like its own little entity.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like I would say like sometimes you're sitting there with a guitar and it's acoustic. Sometimes you're sitting there with electric guitar. Sometimes you're playing something else. And yeah, I don't know. It's just,
Love it.
yeah, it's just like each song is like, it's more of just like, I don't know, like we're not really thinking about it. It's just like, as soon as something crosses our mind, I guess we're trying a few different guitar techniques that we've never done before, which is kind of fun. It's just like, difficult, you know what I mean? Because you have to actually learn the mechanics of how to do it and stuff like that. So
Nice. Are you utilizing the Beeve 7-string that he made for you in any of your writing process this time around?
I've been playing on it, but I haven't really yet. Uh, well, I have some riffs that I've put the 7-string on, but I haven't made anything out of them yet.
Nice.
They're
That
more
thing
just kind
is
of.
that thing's amazing. Have you been are you enjoying Beeve's guitar that he made for you?
Yeah, for sure. I've been using it. I just haven't. Yeah, and then like if I make it, then Chris will also have to get a 7-string, and then you know what I mean. But that we don't really let that kind of stuff stop us. We just kind of do it, and then he had one at some point. I don't know what happened to him.
How's the jam space going for Chris with his shoulder problem? Are you guys able to get through some of the rehearsals and stuff like that, even though he's not like at full strength at the moment?
Yeah, he got a little stand for his guitar. I used to have one of those too when I hurt my back. Yeah, you just kind of have a stand with your guitar on it and just kind of stand behind it.
Do you mean like so I'm picturing like a like at a big rock show, right? Like somebody
Yeah,
would have
yeah,
an electric guitar and then they would have the acoustic on a stand and then they would like walk up and strum the acoustic and then go back to playing on their electric.
yeah,
Is that what he's doing?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Love to see that. Well, I'm glad that you're excited about it. I know that everybody out there will be really pumped to hear that, y'all are hard at work and that things are enjoyable and that you're having fun with it. Obviously, that's the most important thing at the moment. So thank you for the update on the writing process. That's really
Yeah.
cool. How are you? I'm curious about how you're feeling as like a songwriter these days. Is because like as I get older, I think about how much harder things feel to do, like getting through like a piece of writing or like getting through some things in like my day job. They just feel like a lot more tedious sometimes, and like it doesn't come as naturally to me on a lot of days the way it felt when I was a bit younger. I'm wondering if you're noticing any difference in your own songwriting compared to like something like 20 years ago. I'm wondering if you're having if you're resonating with me on how I feel about aging and doing some of my own work, and if it's more challenging or if you've like feel like you've gotten better at it. I'm just wondering about your thoughts on that.
I feel like I'm in a better spot than I was like a while ago, which is why I had less songs on supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just kind of changed my method a little bit. Like, yeah, I started learning how to play a lot of other bands' songs and that to see what's making them tick. And then I take a lot of art courses where there's a lot of critiques of your art. And so I try to apply all the critiques to my music, like if you have a picture, you want like areas of density versus areas of rest, like kind of big, medium, small shapes and like all this kind of thinking. I try to take it to music, like
Mm-hmm.
just the whole flow and composition of it all, I just try to think of the song the same way as a painting, and then trying to make it more based around the vocals and that than riffs. So I was finding it just like I was ending up trying to sing over too complicated of riffs, which is can be cool, but it's also kind of difficult. And then, or I don't know, maybe less good actually in a way. And then I find now like it doesn't seem like the songs are any less hard. Like once you go and start like messing around and making things more difficult, I just
Mm-hmm.
find they turn into better songs. Like I just feel like they have like better composition, better I don't know. I just feel like they're good, So
Nice. I'm glad you brought up art too. I was looking as I follow your art Instagram that you do, and it's really wonderful. And I was chatting with a listener of the podcast and friend, Matt, the other day. And Matt's an art teacher in Chicago. And, we were talking about how it's interesting that you paint realistic portraits and landscapes from life. And it seems like a fairly, like a traditional approach to art. Like you could go to an art museum and you can see like your style reflected in paintings from like, the 1830s and things like that. It's a very timeless, an ongoing and enduring style of art, it feels like. And then it feels like it contrasts a little bit with how extreme a lot of your music is. And it's really interesting to see like the ways that you have sort of like a dichotomy a little bit within your art and then within your music. Do you have any thoughts on that? The way that the music and the art seem to be in really different realms of expression and creativity?
I guess so. I guess where they're the same is like I have a hard time calming down and thinking about like each brushstroke. Like I have a tendency to like rush
Mm-hmm.
and chaotic and not take my time, which is definitely like how like I spy music was,
Mm-hmm.
and like I know like through propaganda, sometimes you got to slow down and figure these little pieces out to make them sharper, so it's kind of like that, I guess. And I guess like just with music and art, you're just kind of recording your little journey, whatever it is. But I guess with the, like when I'm drawing like more cartoony stuff or that, like with the kind of wonked, like
Mm-hmm.
it kind of like it's more just slightly more. I know other people they'll draw like soft, like so soft, roundish, cute things, or they'll draw whatever. Even like some people will be like addicted to like kind of sinister stuff or dark art or whatever. But I find myself like leaning towards like Bullwinkle and Mad Magazine and like old Gru comics, like GROO and not GRU.
Yeah.
Like it's I find myself leaning towards. I always have like this tendency to find like a little bit of funny or ridiculous somewhere. You know what I mean?
I really like the stuff that you do as well, where it's like pipes and like almost looks like machinery. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like cutaways, sort of like from top view, like kind of.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing with that, because it's really neat to see.
Yeah, those are like cutaways. You just like have a scene and then just do what you think the scene. Like it's more like proper set design, really.
Mm-hmm.
You just like have your idea. Yeah, I really find that fun, just looking down and thinking what would be in this room, if that's what you're looking at. And then later on, just like trying to envision the scene from a bunch of angles, just kind of fun. And then I guess now you can do it in Blender. I've been trying to learn Blender lately, which is really fun.
What's Blender?
It's just like 3D, so you can like build something and then move it around. All look at it from every angle and light it. I've been trying to learn VR too, like how to build sets in VR. I just still actually find it easier to just at this point. It won't not for long, but I find it still easier to like draw the idea out, than
Yeah,
I just kind of like doing it all.
I'm looking at your post on Instagram from July 11th, just a couple weeks ago, too, of the skinny, tall buildings all in a row with like the billboard on top and the water tank on top. And I'm just thinking like it would be really cool if you made like, a graphic novel or a comic book or something like that someday. Do you have any like ambitions in that realm at all?
It's hard to say. I don't know if I do a comic because I kind of like to like it's just too time consuming to do. Like I used to do that all the time when I was a kid. That was my actual goal when I was a kid, was to draw comics.
Oh, nice.
Be in a band. That was my two choices. And at some point I did a 500-page comic. But I wasn't thinking about it. Now it's like I think too much about the composition and There's just too many thoughts. I think I like doing like small little projects, you know. So I'll get a project, do the props, do the scenes, uh, do some like story, like keyframes are called, you know, like the key story points. You know, make some characters. Yeah, I kind of have millions of things that aren't on Instagram. Just yeah.
Love it. What are some of your goals in art in the next couple of years? What are you shooting for?
I'm shooting to get better at Blender, better at color keys, and yeah, like keyframes. That's my goal right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I in yeah, September I'm in a class drawing for, it's called like drawing for film and television.
Cool.
And
Nice.
that's not my goal, but I like that. Like I find it really fun. Like they give you a story and whatever, and you have to just build all the sets and all that, like draw them. So that, and yeah, and then a color, like a kind of a color keyframe type class. So.
Wonderful. Well, let's chat about a couple of tunes here for from some propaganda records from the past. What do you think?
Yeah.